Okay, so a while back I saw this person completing an entire boss event with only tier 4 towers, but what caught my attention was just the number of Moab assassins on screen, so I thought, why don't I take this to the next level and try and beat an entire boss using only Moab assassins and nothing else. So this is gonna be a little bit of uncharted territory, and the first thing that I did was, I did the maths on this thing. I mean, this boss in particular has 125% speed and 125% health modifiers, which might make things a little bit more difficult. So I started by calculating the HP of each tier of boss, and I counted how many abilities we're gonna need for each of them. And I obviously skipped tiers 1 and 2 because actually, getting the eliminate the assassin abilities are a good strategy for it. This is Lich, by the way, so it's a good strategy to have, Moab assassins and Moab eliminators for Lich. So we know for a fact that tiers 1 and 2 are possible, but I wanted to check the numbers on tiers 3 up to tier 5. So the tier 3 one, and adjusted for these HP increases, is going to have 275,000 HP, which means that we're gonna need 367 abilities in total to beat the tier 3. Tier 4 has about 650,000 HP, so it is 875 abilities, and the Tier 5 is the most ridiculous out of all of them. It's 2.6 million HP, which is the equivalent of 3,500 Moab Assassin abilities. Now, we cannot have 3,500 towers on screen, and the number is, well, actually closer to 100 as far as I can tell. So what this means is that in order for us to beat the tier 5, let's say we have 100 Moab assassins, right? In order for us to beat the tier 5 using only the abilities, we would need to launch every single ability 35 times. So we use all of the abilities, they come off cooldown, we use them again, and then they come off cooldown, use them again, and so on until we do 35 times. Now this is impossible because there's no way we're gonna get each ability to come off cooldown 35 times, but those guys are gonna attack themselves, and it's not only abilities, and we can also pull some tricks of our own, right? So for example, I got Striker Jones as the hero. Striker Jones is amazing with these bomb shooters, you guys probably already know this, but he gives them a 10% attack speed buff, which is, I believe it's level 4, and then it goes up to 20%, which is gonna be super nice. But more importantly, at least for the Moab Assassin part and for the abilities, is that his level 10 ability resets all of the cooldowns on bomb shooters. So what this means is that, let's say we have 100 assassins, we're gonna use all of them, then we can click his level 10 ability and all of those cooldowns are gonna get refreshed. And that's still not gonna be 35 times, but we're getting there. And next up, we're gonna need cooldown reduction, and we can get cooldown reduction from 3 sources. The first one is the primary expertise. That's the tier 5 village. I'm not sure if you guys knew this, but the primary expertise gives a 20% cooldown reduction to all primary towers. So that obviously includes the bomb shooters, and 20% is, by the way, the equivalent of an Energizer sub. So that is a lot, and we're gonna need the primary expertise. But unfortunately, I think it only works for the towers that are in its range. Now next up, we're gonna get a bunch of primary mentoring villages, because these guys, in addition to getting us a lot of free upgrades, they also give a cooldown reduction to all primary towers, but this one is only 10%, and even though 10% is not a lot, but we are absolutely going to be taking everything. And then the last one is going to be just a straight up Energizer sub, which again is going to be a bunch of cooldown reductions stacked on top of each other, so we are gonna have a lot of abilities to launch. And lastly, there's one more trick that I want to show you guys that we're gonna pull off. So each Moab Assassin ability, let me just buy it, each Moab Assassin ability does 750 damage. So let's send in a Moab. Well, actually this is a bat, but if we send in a bat, we use the ability, then we click it, you guys can see at the top left, it's 750 damage. But we can do something to increase this damage, believe it or not. And actually, I did not know it worked like this. I just tried to get some extra damage for this thing, and I was wondering like if this is gonna work like this. But basically, you guys can see where I'm going with this. All of the damage amplifying sources work with this ability for some reason. I'm not sure if this is, I guess this is an intended interaction, but yeah, they do, everything works. So you get all the ice towers, you get the cripple Moab, you get the glue ability, and then let me just show you guys, we're gonna use everything, and then use the eliminary ability, and 762, so that's an extra 12 damage per ability. And I did the maths on this, this is like a 1.6% increase in the total damage, but listen, we're gonna take it. So for the farming, we're gonna be doing favorite trades farming. Well, it's actually the trade empire into a bunch of merchantmen. And let me just buy this. Yeah, that was good, that was clutch. And a bunch of boats, because we already have those farms at the top there, the bottom path farms, and I'm not feeling like selling them. Honestly, we don't need that much money for this one. It's just gonna be tier 4 bombs, so we're gonna be getting a lot of them for free, a lot of the upgrades for free because of the primary mentoring upgrades. So there we go, there's a tier 1. Tier 1 wasn't even complicated, I'm gonna be honest. And I expect the same thing to be happening with the tier 2. I'm gonna have the eliminator by then. But let me just keep buying these farms. Let's just buy one more, and I'm gonna be buying a bunch of boats. So there's not much things happening, honestly. So I'm gonna see you guys for the tier 2 actually, see how that one goes. Okay, so tier 2 is about to come out. I bought a couple of things. I bought a bunch of things actually. Let me get the eliminator now. But I also got the expertise, which is a tiny bit of cooldown reduction. I bought a bunch of boats, as you guys can see, and that's about it. I'm not sure if we're gonna be needing any more money than this. And let me just keep using these abilities. So let's just wait for the soul, and then I'm gonna use the eliminator on it. So it goes out, and then it actually took 4 Moab assassins, I think it was, to pop. So that is, I mean, we can take care of that one. We do have, these guys are still doing a lot of damage to the boss, which kind of tells you that we're kind of early on this. This boss is, it's at 125% speed, which probably means that these later ones are going to, they're gonna make it a lot further than this, but we're also gonna be buying a bunch of Moab assassins. So I don't know, I'm aiming for about 100 Moab assassins to see if we can fit that. We can also use the water later on. We can place some Arctic Wind Ice Towers and place a bunch of them inside of the water if needed. But for now, these guys seem to be doing a phenomenal job. So tier 2, as expected, no problems. But I will see you guys for the tier 3. Okay, so the tier 3 is about to come out, there it is, and I bought 35 Moab Assassin abilities. Now the number 35 is actually not a mistake. Oh, and look at it go. Look at those guys. So each time you use the ability, you can see it in the HP. It's becoming a lot more interesting now. So each time I use the ability, you can see the HP just go down by amount. And you can tell that it's an ability being used, right? And you can tell it, even when you use the eliminator, you can tell on the HP bar. I bought 35 specifically because, if you guys remember what I told you, in order to beat this thing, we're going to need, well, the tier 3, we're gonna need about 360 abilities. And I bought 35 because I was trying to see if we can get 10 cooldown refreshes on each of these guys, but it looks like they're doing a lot of damage. So it's not gonna be, you know, the best test, but we are getting like a couple of cooldown refreshes. Basically, I'm talking about how many times the abilities are gonna come off cooldown. But we're kind of doing fine with the abilities, I'm gonna be honest. We still have the artillery battery. I'm kind of spamming these assassin abilities, and I'm thinking about that. We should probably be careful with using them in general. So because we're around 82 and basically free play has a bunch of Moab class balloons, I think we need to be very careful, because if we keep using the abilities while Lich is invulnerable. Yeah, there it goes, by the way. Yeah, so that was a tier 3. It was an easy one, but this one made it a little bit farther than the last one. So let's double the amount of Moab assassins, and I'm going to see you guys in a second for the tier 4, actually. Okay, so the tier 4 incoming in a second, and I bought 70. So I doubled the amount of Moab assassins that we got. I'm actually going to be using my left click to look at those abilities go, by the way. Oh my god, that's so cool. Let's refresh. Boom, go again. That's so fun. It's so fun to look at them fly like that. But yeah, as I was saying, I just kind of interrupted myself, but let me just finish on the thought that I started like a minute ago. While Lich is invulnerable, we need to, or at least we probably need to stop using these abilities, because if we keep using the abilities, they're just going to keep flying to these other Moab class balloons that are currently on the field. So, oh, look at that DAT though. Wow, that guy made it actually kind of far. So if we keep using the abilities, they're going to keep flying onto these exactly like that. So they're going to keep flying onto these smaller Moab class balloons that we actually don't want to waste the abilities for them. So I'm pretty sure we need to use all of the Moab assassins and then wait until everything gets popped, so that Lich comes out of this invulnerability that he has, and then we do the ability again. So let's see how this thing is going to go. This is at about half HP and he's about halfway through the track. So tier 4 is definitely proving to be a lot more tricky than the last one, but we're obviously gonna beat this thing. Let's just see how far it makes it. It is at, we have a bunch of money, so we're not interested in money at this point. We just wanna look at those guys go. That was super far, actually. That was towards the end. But yeah, that's everything. So he's gonna come out of the invulnerability now, and let's just keep using these abilities. And this guy actually made it kind of far. It's not halfway, but it's like almost halfway there, right? And that's the tier 4. We don't have that much space remaining, so for the tier 5, we're gonna be selling all of these boats. We're gonna be using basically every little spot that there is to place a bunch of bomb shooters. But there's a tier 4. We beat this thing, and I will see you for the last one, the tier 5. Are we gonna be able to do this? Okay, here it is. So I'm just buying the super bill. Let me get the sniper. 502. Have it set on strong. I'm missing the glue gun, I think. So let's just find a spot for this guy. Yeah, I saw a spot there. Yeah, there we go. So 250 on this thing, and this is the most annoying ability, as I've mentioned a million times. So let me just get it to 99%, and let's Actually, let me get it to a little bit lower than that because it's gonna be a mess on screen. Let's just go like that. 85 should be fine. And let's go. So tier 5, 2.6 million HP. We can place some bomb shooters, I guess above the Energizer, but that's completely fine. Let's go. Okay, so let's start spamming these abilities. Let me refresh. Go, 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 go. He healed from something. What healed him? I have absolutely no idea what happened, but I'm just going to keep spamming these abilities. So let's just go. Let's just keep using the abilities. At a certain point, something that I realized is that at a certain point, the amount of abilities that you have stops mattering because you just can't click them fast enough. Like, it doesn't matter if you have 500 abilities. By the time you're done clicking with all of them, let me just get this thing to 50%, by the way. It's super annoying. But by the time you're done with all of the abilities that you're available, the first one that you clicked is off cooldown. So, you know, having all of these abilities is not actually that beneficial. At a certain point, it's just not important how many abilities you have because you just can't click all of them. But let me just, I don't know, guys, this thing is, are we even making this? The soul is taking a lot of hits. I'm just gonna say that because I'm not even letting go of this thing. I'm doing the left click, I'm doing the right click, I'm doing all the clicks, and my finger is getting very tired from this. I should switch techniques actually. Let me do the other one. Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me tap the buttons? I switched arms. Yeah, it's about halfway there and half HP, so we might have this actually. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we actually have this. So let's just keep using these abilities. I mean, this is so ridiculous, guys. Why have I been doing this? My finger hurts a lot. I don't want to do this anymore. This is so excruciating. 120, I think, was the number that we bought, by the way. 120 individual Moab assassins. So I was right about the amount of assassins that we can buy. But these guys do seem to be doing a decent amount of damage by themselves. So this might be possible. Let me just keep spamming this. So there's only one Lich Soul remaining, and after that we're clear. We're gonna have the Jones level 10 ability come off cooldown in a while. We should probably use it one more time before the game ends. So let's just keep spamming this thing. Okay, last soul. Click the abilities, and we got it. Okay, last one. Let me just keep... What healed him? He healed. What happened? Guys, what's healing this guy? I don't understand. Why is this happening? Okay, no time for this. I think we should go back to clicking. So, yeah, let me just set my mouse there. I'm just going to keep clicking there. We're going to see on the replay what happened. But I have no idea what's healing him. I don't think... So, the Striker Jones level 10 ability, it buffs these bomb shooters. It gives them double damage, but it doesn't heal off of it. I'm 100% sure it doesn't heal off of it. So, I have no idea what's happening there. This is so close. This is unbelievably close. Do we even have this? My finger is tired, guys. I can't do this anymore. I really hope we win because I'm not down for a second round. Let's refresh. Keep going. Click that thing. 100k. No. I'm going to do this again. Okay, so new technique. I'm switching hands and I'm switching fingers and I'm super efficient. By the way, what happened last time? Wait a second. Are we fine with this soul, by the way? Barely. Okay, we're fine. So last time what happened was the ice ability, guys. So the ice ability, if you guys don't know, I clicked the absolute 0. And by the way, this thing gives a, I think it was a 50% attack speed increase to all ice towers on screen. And that's a buff. And this guy absorbed the absolute 0 buff, which is the most ridiculous thing to heal it. But it happened and here we are. But it's fine because I'm pretty sure we have this one. I mean, my fingers are done, but I'm going to hold on for you guys. We're gonna make it this time. It's a little bit less closer than last time just because my technique has improved on clicking this whole thing. I'm not downloading an auto clicker, by the way. That's cheating. Yeah, this thing is popping. This thing is absolutely popping and we are gonna do it. Yeah, so let's use the glue ability, let's use the limb, and a couple more Moab assassins coming off cooldown. And there it is. So we did the dumbest thing possible. There's absolutely no need for this. Please don't do this, guys. This is so annoying and your finger is gonna get all whacked, but we did it. We beat Lich. There it is. 120 something Moab assassin abilities and a bunch more clicks, and this my keyboard is done, my mouse click is done. And here, let's just check the pop counts. I mean, it's gonna be somewhat balanced, right? Except, you know, the guys at the front, which were attacking a bunch of Moab class balloons, but all the other guys are just gonna have the normal pop counts from the abilities, and maybe they got some damage onto the boss. But there we go. There we have it. We beat Lich. that was super fun. Hope you guys enjoyed the video as well, and I will see you in the next one. This is the BTD6 index, which tracks a bunch of community challenges, and one of the challenges that we're going to be doing today is the least cost deflation. So there is this score of 1350 which was set on logs, and today we're going to try and beat that. Now the setup that was used for beating this record looked like this. It was Gwen, a 010 dartling which was used to pop the purple balloons in rounds 45 and 48, and then just the free dart monkey, which in total costs $1,350. Alright, so lowest cost deflation. Let me just show you guys the rules before we start. So no modifiers, double cash is disabled, everything is by default, so easy mode, deflation, and we have the least cash special condition turned on. So I'm going to be attempting to do this with Sada and the free dart monkey, which in total is going to cost $460, which is going to be a huge improvement from the score that was previously set. But let's see how everything goes. So Sada's level 3 ability lasts for half a second longer for each level that she gets, which might be useful, but all in all, Sada is just generally a strong hero, especially for these mid-game rounds. I feel like an alchemist would have been nice, but we cannot afford it. And let me see what's happening with these regrows. These zebras at the end. There's 2 of them. That's way too many. I think we're gonna have to restart. Yeah, I don't want to start this run. Yeah, let's restart. I don't want to start this run out by losing 150 lives. So I guess the way that we can solve that is just by having Sada on last as soon as they appear. So wait a second, let's go on last, use the ability, clean the first one, and there we go. So it cleans up the second one as well. That's nice. So let me just quickly go through the rules before we get this run going. So monkey knowledge is allowed just like you would be able to use monkey knowledge normally in the deflation run, but if you're trying to do the least cost deflation, you're not allowed to sell. Okay, so round 36, let's see how we do versus these pink waves. There's 3 of them. Are we gonna need to use the ability actually? No, it's not looking like it. Okay, so Sada cleans up. Look at her go. Okay, so set Sada on strong, use the ability because that's the only way that we can pop lead balloons. And in this least cost deflation run, selling is not allowed. The reason why it's not allowed is probably because they want to avoid some sort of shenanigans with the level 3 abilities on some heroes, I guess. So maybe something like we use the leaping sword ability and then we sell Sada, buy her back, and it's still going to be a low cost, but it's going to cheese around or something like that. And we missed the lead balloon, which means that we're gonna have to use it one more time. Or do we leak it and save the ability for round 39? I'm not gonna leak it. I'm gonna set it on strong and I'm gonna use the ability. Okay, so now what happens at the end is we have 2 regrow rainbows, and I'm gonna learn from the first round and I'm gonna set Sada on last and I'm gonna use the ability. But let's see if it cleans them up. So it cleans up the first one. Yes, it cleans up the second one as well. Nice. We're learning, guys. We're learning. And we also get the ability for round 40. So I think I'm just gonna use the ability. We're gonna need Moab damage and then it's gonna recharge again for the ceramics. Wait a minute, we don't need it for the ceramics. Oh yeah, that's right, this is easy mode. So the Moabs on easy mode have 130 HP, and I think they get affected by the big blue Sabo monkey knowledge. I'm not sure if it's 130 or 120, I think it's 130. So it actually comes out to 117 HP that the Moab has, am I right? And basically, let me just finish up the rules I started telling you guys about. So we talked about the no selling part. Let me just use the ability now just to clean these regrows up. There it is. And something that you guys are going to see in the rules is that there are no version shenanigans allowed, which means that you cannot use a save file from a previous update. So for example, maybe you started a deflation run and then you placed some tower, but you want to reuse that run because the tower got buffed or something like that. That's not allowed, and you cannot use save files from previous updates. And the last thing is to have this least cash special condition on. So as you guys can see at the top, we have the no score set in the $460, and that is basically this thing turned on, which basically means that if you're planning on submitting your run, the people from the index can verify it. So let's have Sada on strong. What I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to kind of break apart these rainbows, and then when they make their way back, it's going to be a little bit easier. So I think we have this one without using the ability, right? And these guys are kind of making it far. There's one more ceramic left, so let's see how we do. I think I'm going to take that. A bunch of rainbows again on this one. We handled them on the previous round, so I think we should be fine. But I do want to save the ability for round 49 for sure, because that's going to be a messy one. Okay, so round 48 is looking like a mess. I see some ceramics at the top, and I really don't want to leak them. Yep, that's ceramic. Yeah, that's a 45 ceramic. Let's restart this one. What I want to do is I'm going to set Sada on strong, and then as soon as these rainbows appear, I'm going to use the ability. So go now. Just to kind of do a little bit of damage to them. The ability is coming up. Do I want to use it? Let's set her on strong just so she does a little bit of damage to these 45 ceramics. Just like that. I'm not sure if I want to use the ability. I think we're going to have to. Let's see what happens. This is... first... Oh no! Nice, that was perfect. Okay, so we have it for 49. So this round is gonna be very messy, I have a feeling, because we're gonna need to use the ability at least twice. Let's use it for these ceramics, so set Solid on strong, use it now. Keep her on strong so she does a little bit of damage to these ceramics, and then get her back on first, I guess. Yeah, this round is gonna leak a bunch of balloons, isn't it? And here come these regrow rainbows. I guess, do we go on strong, use the ability now? Go back on first, so she targets the regrow rainbows. She is not targeting the regrow rainbows. This is gonna regrow them. Yeah, they're regrowing on their way back. This is going to be a loss. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna try and save the ability, and I'm gonna try and time it on an intersection. Like that. Is that enough? Nah, that's way too many balloons. Okay, I'm gonna have Solid strong, and the second the ceramic balloon appears, I'm gonna use it so that we have it later for the regrow rainbows. So now, go back on, or do we keep her on strong? Let's keep her on strong for a second. And go back on first, and then hopefully it's gonna come back for these regrow rainbows. I'm gonna switch to strong then. Now, strong ability. Yeah, this is not gonna work out. They're regrowing way too much. Okay, so here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking of buying an ice tower. Is the ice gonna be better or an alchemist? I'm thinking between both of those towers. So Solid can pop frozen balloons, that's not an issue. But at this point, I think is what's gonna provide more value. I'm actually gonna go for the alchemist, I think. Because the alchemist is gonna provide a DPS effect. And if you guys know what Solid's level, I don't know what level it is, but some of the upcoming levels, when a balloon is taking DPS damage from another tower, she does extra damage to that balloon. So this alchemist is going to be very useful later on, but let's just see what happens. I'm gonna have the alchemist strong just to add a little bit more damage, but this thing is looking, holy, this thing is looking so much better than last time, and we're gonna have the ability, so let's use it now. Again on the intersection, good. It's all back on first. This is so much better, it's insane. I mean, they regrow a little bit. We can redo this round, I think, but I don't want to take this. I think I'm gonna take it actually. How many lives is that? 155 and a couple of leaks. I think I'm gonna take this. Yeah. And that's something that I guess we should start thinking about, is using the ability early so that we have it back again in the same round. It's just gonna be a balancing act, right? It's gonna be whether you want to use it early or you want to use it for something specific, like for a Moab or something like that. If Solid is able to pop the Moab, I'm gonna use the ability for the ceramics. Oh, it's gonna be close, isn't it? Yeah, let's just use it. So this round is just 45 ceramics, and then it's gonna be regrow rainbows. Yeah, there we go. So we're gonna have to use the ability for the regrow rainbows. Let's go on last. Nope, we do not go on last. Well, actually the idea is right. I'm gonna play this round out to see what happens, but the idea of going to last is, yeah, this is not gonna work out. The idea of going to last is actually correct. We just have to do it a little bit early. So as soon as these guys appear, as soon as these ceramics stop appearing, that is, we're gonna switch to last and we're gonna use the ability. Okay, my brain was late on that one, but I think the stores still affect them. I just announced I was gonna do something and then I didn't do it, but somehow it worked out. Sada is level 8, so she is kind of decent at this point, but we're gonna need her to get to level 9 because she's gonna do 3 damage per shot, plus she's gonna get a DPS effect, which is gonna be nice versus these smaller balloons. The Moab at the top is leaking, and maybe we can do something like... That's not what I wanted to do though. Did you guys see it though? I saw it. Okay, we're not gonna beat this round, are we? I hope we don't beat it, just because I want to show you guys something. Yeah, we're not gonna beat it. Okay, so let me show you what I wanted to do. So you guys saw how the last 2 Moabs kind of met in this intersection. What I want to do is I want to set Sada on last, and I want to try and hit both of those Moabs. So let's go on strong for a second, but we need to pop the first one in order for that to happen. So we have to pop this one, and it's not popping. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna set Solid on strong, and I'm gonna use the ability for the first Moab so we guarantee it pops, and then I think it's gonna come off cooldown for the last 2. And I'm gonna keep her on first, and now we go on last, and I hope I get the timing right again, so go. Yes, there we go. That was so good. Let's have her on strong so she focuses down these ceramics, and then we're gonna go back on first. On first now. I mean, we leaked a little bit, but I'm gonna take that just because of how cool it was. Okay, this round is overwhelming us a little bit. Yeah, that's way too many balloons. We're gonna lose on this one, aren't we? Oh, 23. Let's go back on first. Oh, did you guys see that? The swords up top, they popped the Moab. 19. Do we have this? I think I'm gonna take this actually. So what do we do for this one? Do we just do the same thing that we did previously? Just use the ability as soon as possible so we can use it twice. So hopefully we're gonna be able to have it for the 4th wave, which is not even getting damaged at all. Okay, let's save it for the 4th wave. Let's go on strong. Actually first, no need to. Wow, that worked actually. Yeah, I'm gonna use the ability. There we go, perfect. 13 lives, something leaked actually. But look at this, Sada is level 9 and now she does a lot more damage. Look at her melt these rainbows and the Moab. Did she just solo pop a Moab using auto attacks only? Yep. Okay, so let's try this. Let's use the ability for the ceramic waves only. So let's use it. We want to use it now actually, we kind of cleared everything up. Yeah, there we go. Exactly. So we cleaned up the ceramics. Wow, that was actually better than expected. And then hopefully we get it back for the LEDs. Yeah, we do. So let's wait a little bit until they're here. Boom. And there it is, round 59. Okay, last round, 13 lives, 20 mana shield. I think we have this, honestly. I think Saw is going to do way too much damage. I'm going to use the ability once on the BFB, and then I guess I'm going to use it once on the Moabs when they come out. So as soon as this thing pops, right now, use the ability. Pop all of these guys. They did not even pop at once, which is good because we can kind of separate them, right? And that's it. There we go. So least cost deflation mode at $930. Oh, that was a fun run. So let's just check Solace pops. It's 59,549. Let's see how many the Alchemist got. It's 4.7k. So could this have been done without the Alchemist to get a 460 score? I don't know. I feel like if we are able to survive round 49, if someone's able to do that, they can definitely do it using Solid only. But that's it for this one. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one. How bad is Ben on chimps mode? So today we're gonna put that thing to the test because Ben is usually this hero that often gets overlooked on chimps mode, and for good reason. I mean, all of his abilities are basically disabled on chimps mode. For example, the level 1, level 2 ability is just generating cash, but then when you get to the level 3 biohack, it adds extra damage, which is basically 4 closest monkeys pop an extra layer per attack for 6 seconds, but then afterwards they can all attack for 2 seconds. So there's a little bit of a timing aspect to this ability as well. And then the level 10 ability, which is the Siphon Funding, which downgrades all, well, it says most, but basically everything that spawns except the DDT before he gets level 20 gets basically downgraded by 1 rank. So for example, a BFB is gonna turn into a Moab, and that is probably the most useful aspect of Ben. So I created a challenge for this thing, and let's just jump into this thing. We're going to be playing on balance, and I wanted to add an additional type of a restriction for us, which is basically going to be only using tier 3 towers and nothing else, because I kind of wanted to use Ben's. Let me just actually place this Buccaneer. I think we're going to start with the Buccaneer actually. I want to have 2 of these guys, because now that we've limited ourselves to tier 3 towers only, we have to be kind of smart with the towers that we're using. So I wanted to start with the Buccaneer because we're going for the Destroyer. Okay, so hopefully this Buccaneer can survive. I bought it as a 0-1-0, so I only have the Grape Shot, but I'm not sure if he's going to be able to hold on, because after we get Ben, well, Ben is the type of hero that doesn't actually do anything when you place him, because it's chimps mode. So hopefully this Buccaneer can survive these yellows, and then I guess it's also going to have to survive the next round, which, well, it's not even making it past this one, so we're going to have to do something about it. This upgrade should be fine. It's like a 1-1-0. Is this going to be fine versus 15? Because if we survive 15, I think that we might be able to survive 16 as well. So let's see what we do with this one. I actually have a very specific spot in mind for Ben just because of the map that we're playing, but let's just see how we do on this round. So there's a pink balloon. Should I be microing this guy? Yeah, he's just not popping it. He's just not popping the pink balloons. Okay, so we have to do something about it. And you know what I want to do? I want to get a glue gunner. So eventually, because we're limited to tier 3 towers only, let's just do it like this. Let's get this guy. He's a super cheap tower, and I kind of like having him as well. And this is going to become a Moab glue, essentially. So let's see if we can deal with this round, and we're going to have the money. And yeah, so let's place Ben right over here. Now, this spot is actually very specific because of the towers that I want to be buying. So since we're limiting ourselves to using only tier 3 towers, that means that our damage is going to be really limited, and we're only looking to buy towers that are going to have a benefit from Ben's biohack ability. So I was thinking of getting an ace actually. So what am I doing for this round? Well, I think I'm gonna buy this thing actually. Let's get the bigger gloves and let's see if this is gonna do anything, and maybe this is the time for us to use the biohack. I'm actually gonna do it. Let's use the biohack, and hopefully the timing was good. So our towers are going to stop attacking for a second, but hopefully that was not too bad. Yeah, it's fine. Okay, so I just did the calculations on this thing, how much money is it going to take to buy the 0208s for the camo detection, and it's $1,460. So let's just hit play. I'm really scared to buy this thing because if we buy it and we don't have the money, then basically the run is over. So hopefully things go well somehow. Yes, nice. There, 1,519. That's amazing. Okay, so let me quickly buy this thing and let me. Okay, that was that was actually really good. So the run continues. I really don't want to get the Mellipad. I really want to get the Never Miss because that thing is gonna go so hard with the Ben ability. So let's. I don't know. I think I'm gonna use it. Yeah, this round is gonna be pure RNG. So I think we have to do something about it. Okay, so I want to buy a tower that's not gonna cost too much money, but it's also, I don't know, I think we can leave it. So I think I'm gonna place a sniper which is gonna go right over here. I'm gonna have this thing on strong, and I want to have it as far as possible because our main setup is gonna be here in the middle. And when we use the biohack ability, I don't want this guy to be taking the buff. I mean, he's a sniper, he also doesn't care about the biohack, but yeah. Let's just have him like that. So that's round 33, and hopefully we get the money for the Never Miss pretty soon because our defense is, well, I'm pretty sure as soon as the rainbows come out on like round 35, we're done to beat them all. Here it comes. So it's 3,000. I'm spamming this thing. I bought it. You know what? I'm actually going to use the ability. Let's just deal with these guys. Yeah, there we go. It's time. Let's upgrade this thing to a destroyer. This thing should help us deal with the bat. And honestly, just because I want to get this thing to a Moab glue, I feel like doing this is a pretty cheap way to kind of help us out with the Moab and basically the ceramics because, well, we do have damage, but it's like this guy and he doesn't cover the center that well. So let's just see how we do versus the Moab. I want to use the ability, but timing this ability is also really important because, oh, never mind. I forgot about the Trojan. There's no need to time anything. I really want to buy some other camo detection besides the sniper and the Never Miss. And because we're limited to tier 3, we actually cannot even upgrade these guys anymore. So it's like maybe the sniper can go up to something, but I don't want to touch him. I think he's just going to remain like a 0-1-0. So let's get this thing. Let's get the Ultra Vision and then Laser Blast into Plasma Blast, eventually into a Sun Avatar, and I also want to have an Alchemist. So the plan for this thing is to actually have, so this guy on the left is going to be a Sun Avatar, and then on top of him there's going to be an Alchemist, and then I want to do the same thing here on the right side. So there's going to be a Super Monk here, which is going to become a Sun Avatar, and then an Alchemist above him. Now, if I place them correctly, I think that the Glue Gunner in the middle is not going to be taking the Berserker Brew buff. So hopefully this works out. Hopefully this goes well. So a huge problem with Ben is the fact that he's using the Trojan ability on, well, on whatever he lands, but basically whenever he lands on the wrong balloon, which is, I guess, like a Moab at this point, but later on it can affect BFBs and DDTs as well. That essentially means that we are not getting the, let's just kind of get ready for this one, by the way, because I don't want to be buying anything else. But that basically means that we're not getting the money that we would have gotten from that. And that is just like that. I mean, it Trojan the first one, but we did not get the money from it. So let's just buy the Sun Avatar. And this, by the way, works for the level 10 ability as well, the Siphon Funding, because when you downgrade all of the balloons into, let's say you downgrade the ZOMG into a BFB, I mean, sure, that's less RBE, but you're missing all of the money. So you have to be kind of careful of how you're using it. Basically, Ben on Chimps mode is just being careful and being very mindful about how you use the abilities, because you don't want to block your towers with the biohack, and you don't want to downgrade yourself into basically not making any money. So here's round 63. We have the biohack ability, but let's see if the Sun Avatar is going to be able to take care of it. We also have a little bit of money, so I could probably get an Alchemist. I should actually get an Alchemist. So let's get this guy and just buy it like this, and I hope this doesn't reach the Glue Gunner. It doesn't. Okay, that's amazing. So this is like a private Alchemist for the Sun Avatar. That's exactly what you want to see. So we have some money to upgrade a couple of things. I guess we could start working on the second Sun Avatar, but I also want to be buying some things like the Glue Splatter and the Moab Glue. So let's actually, what are we planning? What are we doing right now? So let's do it like this. Let's get the Moab Glue. Let's get the Glue Splatter just to kind of help out with these Moab class balloons. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to use the ability for the first wave, but I am going to use it for the second, I think. Oh, never mind. Okay, never mind. I'm going to use it for the first wave as well. So we need to time this thing actually. So let's use it like now. Oh my god, I was so late on that one. I think I got like half of it. I was super late on that one. Okay, we got it. That's good. That's good. I was only going to use it on the second wave actually, just because there are a lot of purple balloons before it comes out, so it might kind of block some of the attacks of the Sun Avatar, so just to be safe. But yeah, we're going to have to... It's not going to come off cooldown, is it? I'm going to try and spam it. I hope I don't mess it up. So I use it. And let's watch the ceramics. We're going to miss a lot of money, by the way, because of this, but it just has to be done probably. hopefully. Hopefully I don't make a mistake by doing that one. We have 28,000, so I think it's time to buy the second one, the second Sun Avatar, at least start working towards it, then get the Alchemist, and we're actually gonna be done just because the way this map works, because even though we are gonna have some extra cash, there's nothing to, there are no spots to place our towers on. So let's see how we do versus ZRMG. Should I have reduced this thing to a BFB actually, now that I think about this, because, well, I don't know, I should probably use this ability. So this is actually, let me check Ben's level. So he's level, oh no, he's level 12. Okay, so it's just level 13 when he actually gets bonus damage, which goes from +1 to +2 damage. But I think I'm gonna use the ability when everything pops, so like right now. And then all the towers, because the way it works is the towers that are closest to Ben get buffed. So it's this Never Miss, which gets super buffed. It's the Sun Avatar, which is exactly the towers. And that's why I placed Ben here, because it's exactly the towers that we want to have. With the exception of the Moab Glue, I have to say, but like there's no... The Moab Glue is here because it's not going to get buffed by any Alchemist on the left and the right side if we place the Alchemist correctly. But it's like something that we're just going to have to take it. This thing, let me upgrade it to 320 and see if the glue is not getting buffed. So these placements on the Alchemist are perfect, but there's a little bit of a problem, and the problem is with this spot right here. So whatever you place here, it's in proximity of the Alchemists, and because this spot and the tower is going to get placed here is closer than the Sun Avatars, the way the Berserker Brew works is it buffs the closest towers first. So if I place a tower here, that's basically going to be the one that's going to be eating up all the Alch buffs. And so I'm thinking about a tower that doesn't absorb Alch buffs that I wanna place here. And I actually thought of one. I think this is going to be, and it's actually a tower that you guys are not even gonna expect this tower, because I actually don't even use this tower in general, but is the Beast Handler. So the thing with the Beast Handler is that even though you can see the buff icon above it, when I place it, it's not going to be taking any buffs. And that's because these beasts, they cannot get buffed by the Alchemist. So what I want to do is I actually want to get the Golden Eagle. That's going to be a tier 3. And this thing, when it's at max beast power, it can grab it says that it can grab the lowest tiers of Moab, but I think it's not plural. I think it's actually only applies to Moab class balloons and not BFBs. I think it just stops the Moab class balloons. So we have to upgrade it. So let's get a couple of beast handlers and actually get this thing merged up. So yeah, this is a tower that's not going to be eating up the Alch buff. That's amazing. Let's get one more, and it's a super cheap one, so it's gonna allow us to have basically a bunch of money left over. So it's at max beast power right now. It's 24 out of 24, so it's going to be pulling a little bit of Moabs towards the. I guess it's gonna be bringing it back, or however it works. I don't know. I think it's a little bit confusing on this map because I have it, like, let's say I have it here on the left side, but then like for the balloons that are coming out from the right side, it's actually it's actually helping them escape. So I'm not sure if it wants to do that. We are probably nearing the end of the towers that we can buy. We can actually buy one more tower, and that's gonna be it, and that's where the fun starts. Because after we're done with placing all of our towers, that's when we can freely start using our siphon funding ability, because I know it's gonna lose us money, but that's kind of the point when we have everything on screen. So I have this spot reserved for ZDT, so let's see how I do versus them. It's just around 90, so we should be able to clean them easily. Yeah, there we go. The problem that we have currently is that this guy, the Moab Glue, I'm clicking on the Beast Handler for some reason. Yeah, there we go. So the Moab Glue cannot see camo balloons, which means that it's not gonna work on DDT, so we have to find a way to deal with that. But first, let me buy the other destroyer. It's gonna be a 320. So basically the biohack now affects 6 towers. So it's gonna be these two guys in its proximity base. So it's gonna be these two guys, the destroyers. This is number 3, the Never Miss, and this is 4, 5, and 6. So if I did everything correctly, I'm actually gonna use it now just to test. Yeah, there we go. It's amazing. So basically these Sun Avatars are getting +2 damage, and it's, yeah, they're just going to town. I wish the downtime went away. Like when Ben gets level, what's it, like level 13? Yeah, so when it gets when the bonus damage gets increased, affects 6 monkeys for 8 seconds. I wish that the downtime went away at this point, and it's just like you use the ability and there's no downtime for your towers. I think that would be nice. Like, it doesn't last a long time anyway, so why the downtime in the first place? Okay, round 94, I think I want to do the first siphon funding. There are a lot of ZMGs incoming, so I want to reduce them, and a bunch of BFBs. Oh, and look at that. So how many did we get? I hope we got a lot, actually. I hope we got a good chunk of them, because these Sun Avatars, well, we're lacking damage. It's basically a tier 3 restriction, which is basically not enough damage, and when you don't have enough damage, you have to rely on less RB in general. So, yeah, there goes the thing, and we are going to have all of the abilities. Oh, actually, it's a bunch of... Oh my god, are we even fine on this one? Are we even dealing with the purples? Okay, so this round might be a little bit problematic, and I think I have a solution, but I'm gonna let these guys play it out first. So let's use the siphon funding now on these. Well, it doesn't work on the DDTs yet, but it works on the Moab. So let's use it now and see how we do. And I think we're actually doing. Oh no, never mind. I'm gonna use the ability. So as soon as the siphon funding ended, that was a little bit scary. So round 96, we actually don't have the siphon on this one. So hopefully the biohack comes off cooldown. Is this gonna be the first actually problematic round? It looks like it. I'm gonna use the ability right now. I hope we take care of these guys in the middle. Yeah, I can't see anything. Hopefully the bird is doing something, like it's pushing back like a Moab or two back just to buy a little bit of time. But I think we have it. Okay, so we dealt with the BFBs, and what do we do now? I mean, this is the, I guess this is the Ben problem. It's more of a tier 3 problem, actually. I'm scared to use it because if I use it to the wrong time, like it's just this whole round is gonna end. But I think I have to use it. So I'm gonna use it now. Let's see what these guys are gonna do. So hopefully they clean it up before it. Oh my, no, it stopped. Yes. Yes, good job. Okay, so let's save the ability. Let's save everything for 98, and I'm actually going to use the siphon funding. We're going to reduce so much RB on the next round. It's going to be insane. So as soon as these guys pop, I'm hitting the siphon funding, and yeah, that thing should reduce like 100,000 RB for sure. Let's just be ready with the siphon. Actually, that's round 99. So use it right now. And oh my god, look at this. So these guys that you guys see, the BFBs with the green lines onto them, that's actually ZOMGs that got reduced. So that is a lot of RB that's just not gonna happen. Oh my god, is it enough though? Is it actually enough? I should use the ability right now, I think. Or should I use it right now? Oh my god, I'm so scared to use the ability because if it stops at the wrong time, I'm gonna use it. I'm using it right now. I hope they take care of it. I hope nothing leaks. They stopped attacking. Oh my god. No. Maybe I buy this. So this is a tower that cannot be buffed by an alchemist as well because it's an alchemist itself. And I hope that this does a little bit more damage to help things out. So I'm going to do this. I'm actually going to have both of these guys on strong. And I'm going to use the biohack ability as soon as possible. So let's use the siphon, reduce a bunch of these guys. And then when everything starts coming into range, like, I guess like now, I'm going to use the biohack so it comes off cooldown. And now we're going to have it again. So I think that this is a lot better than last time, actually. So the biohack is coming out in a second. How much damage are these guys doing? It's like 20,000. Oh, it's actually doing a lot of damage. The biohack is ready, so let's wait a little bit. Oh my god, I need to use it. I saw that was a big explosion. It like just mobs appeared. And yes, amazing. Okay, so 99, we actually do get the siphon. But let's see how we do versus these 45 DT. So we don't have the biohack. It's just these guys have to take care of it by themselves. And how is it looking? It is not looking good. I guess the one thing that we can do is I can get a shimmer, which is gonna reveal the DDTs, and that's gonna allow the Moab glue to glue them. But besides this thing, like I was actually thinking of getting like these guys for around 100. So let me just, I mean, I'm gonna have these guys for around 100 anyway. So let's just buy them like this. I'm gonna have 2 of them. You know what? Maybe this is overkill. Maybe these shimmers are overkill for the DDTs because we can just do it with like an NG phone, which is more expensive. But let's just leave everything like this. I'm gonna use the siphon now so that we have things a little bit more easier for our sun avatar. So let's hope this is enough. So hopefully these shimmers, they do their job, and hopefully we hold on. I mean, it's close. It's gonna be close. Yes, nice, amazing. Okay, that was great. So I guess I'm gonna buy one more. Yes, there we go. So it's 130 on this one, but that's fine. And just a little bit of helping hand for these guys, for sun avatars. These guys did about like what, like 4,000 or 5,000 damage in total. Yeah, that's fine. So use the biohack ability. I'm gonna use one more time, I guess. So the thing is, if I use the siphon and this thing pops, it's not gonna affect them. So yeah, it's not gonna affect the balloons that spawn. So yeah, you have to either use it at the start or just it's not gonna do anything mid round. So the BFB layer actually popped. We're gonna have one more biohack, but I feel like they're going to exit now. So yeah, there might be an issue. I mean, does like this thing do more damage? Like it's gonna be a 032. What do I guess I could buy this thing. I guess I could add like like this guy, almost sniper, $4 remaining. Let's do it like this. Let's use the ability and get as much damage as possible from this guy, from the sun avatar on the right side. So I think it's just +2 damage. Yeah, it hasn't upgraded yet. And let's use the ability immediately now, so everyone gets the extra damage. And so what I think I was doing is I was actually over damaging it with the Moab Share, as funny as that sounds, because if we have the biohack active while the ZOMGs are on the field and it pops them, that seems to be an issue. So we want to have this thing end before the ZOMGs pop. Please. No, they popped. Okay, so this is actually a problem because when this thing starts taking into effect the unstable concoction, well, oh my god, we actually got it. What happened there? Was the bird, right? It was the bird that just kept pushing everyone back. Oh my god, this guy came in clutch. That was amazing. That was actually so good. But there it is, Ben on chimps mode. So I guess Ben can be kind of useful in chimps mode, but it's not the default choice. And the problem with him is that he requires a lot of timing of the abilities, right? It just, do you want to downgrade? When do you want to downgrade stuff? And then when do you want to buy a hack? How is it going to affect your towers? And you have to be mindful about the placement. But that's it for this one. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. It was really fun recording this one actually, and also putting the limit on ourselves with tier 3 towers only. And I will see you all in the next one. So you guys know about this cauldron here on cards, right? Knowing that we can fit a buccaneer and a sub, can we beat 100 rounds with this thing? Now usually I would play these challenges on chimps mode, but because this is such a weird one, I mean it doesn't even cover that much of the track. I'm not sure if this is even possible in chimps mode, so we're gonna do a test run. This is gonna be our test run to see how far this thing can go. Can we even beat it in the first place? And then depending on how it goes, how close it is, if we have a lot of rounds that are gonna be close, how the money flows and things like that. If everything goes well, then I'm going to attempt it on chimps mode. For now, we're gonna play this. We're using monkey knowledge from playing on hard mode, so rounds 3 to 100. We extended hard mode a little bit just to, you know, kind of go into this ultra late game and see what happens. So I'm starting with a buccaneer, and there are a lot of things that we can do for this one. Now, because we're playing with monkey knowledge, we're obviously gonna have some huge advantages. So for example, things are gonna be a little bit cheaper. We're gonna be using that monkey knowledge point that makes your first primary tower a little bit cheaper. We also have the monkey knowledge point that gives extra attack speed when your towers instead of last, and I think that this is a very nice map in which you would want to set your buccaneer on last because it's gonna shoot down this straight line. And then obviously things like the mana shield, the road spikes, and you know, the big bloon sabo monkey knowledge, which makes all these Moab class bloons weaker. The idea is to go for this millipede buccaneer and see how far that thing can survive. Now the millipede buccaneer got buffed, and it's a really strong tower actually. Even though it cannot see that much of the track, it's still gonna do well. I think it's gonna do pretty well just because it does a lot of damage, but it's gonna fall off eventually, and that is, the later that thing happens, the better for us, because we have a couple of goals to hit. So the goal that I want to hit is to get the carrier flagship ideally before round 59, and also, you know, starting from round 60 we're gonna have a BFB, we're gonna have a bunch of 45 Moabs to 62, and then obviously 63, and so things are gonna get, let's just upgrade to a cannon ship. I guess we can get the longer range as well. The longer range gives a little bit of projectile speed, which is nice, and ideally we want to have, you know, this thing, the 502 carrier flagship by 63, just so we're safe. And so after that, after getting a carrier flagship, obviously, you know, how are we beating 100 rounds? Well, we're gonna use the platforms to place towers onto it. Now if this thing is successful and we are going on chimps mode, well, it's actually not going to be chimps now that I think about it. It's going to be chimp because we're going to have to allow selling. So we're going to have to switch between these towers just because the 402 Buccaneer cannot pop lead balloons. And that's the other thing why I went for this guy instead of something like a 402 or a 320 or whatever it is, because whatever path you go for is going to have some sort of a vulnerability, right? So for example, going for the 402 means that we're not going to be able to pop lead balloons. Going for the 420 means that we pop leads but we don't have camo detection, and you know, it's always a trade-off unless you have the 042, but then the 042 and the 052 are going to fall off eventually, and we're going to need the flagship anyways for the late game, right? Okay, so round 37, and I can kind of see why this thing is a little bit weak. So the thing that this guy is missing, I upgraded to the monkey parts, but what this thing is missing is attack speed. So I guess having it, I currently have it on last, and having it on last kind of helps out with the 10%. But you can definitely feel the lack of attack speed. So here come the first ceramics. Let's see how we do. It's supposed to one-shot them if all of those attacks hit, because this guy attacks with like 3 things. Okay, so here comes an actual challenge for this guy, and let's see how we do versus these rainbows. Oh, those are some nice snipes. You guys see that? Oh my god, the cannonball from the top side. That's so good. Now let's hook the Moab, and that's going to be around 40. One of the benefits, I guess, from having this thing. But did you guys see those snipes? Let's watch the cannonball thingy again because we have more rainbows. Yeah, look at that. So it's set on last, and let's see how we do versus 43, the first ceramics. I might have to switch it back to first for this one. No, last is fine. But we did leak a little bit. So that was the first leak, and those were the first ceramics. Actually, not the first ceramics, but I guess the first round with a little bit more ceramics. So this is gonna get interesting on rounds like 49 and the 50s, I guess. Okay, round 46, the first 45 ceramics. Let's see how this thing does versus them. It's set on last, but I think I'm gonna have to switch it to first. Now. Yeah, that's fine. There's a full ceramic incoming. Let's see how it does. Okay, so that was the first league. 23 mana shield lives and all the road spikes are gone. The cannonball is sniping them. The cannonball is so good. Let's move it back to first. Ooh, those are some interesting leagues. So this thing is very weak versus ceramics. Well, I wouldn't say very weak, but unless it hits it like with its full force, these ceramics are gonna leak. Okay, so round 49 is coming up. I have this thing set on last, and hopefully we get some nice cannonball snipes. I think that's gonna be very important. Let's see how they do versus the ceramics. Oh yeah, look at that. That's so much damage. That's carrying. Let's move this guy back on first. Go back on last. Go back on first. I mean, we're leaking on this one. We're leaking really well on this one. 37 lives. Let's see how we do versus these rainbows. So it's going to be double rainbows. It's normal plus region. 23 lives. Do we have this? And the question is, I guess, do we want to take this even if we have the round? Oh no, that's way too many. Okay, let's try this thing one more time. Here come the ceramics. I have it on last. And those were the best cannonballs I've ever seen because we haven't leaked anything so far. What happened there? Do I just keep it on last? Look at those cannonballs. Oh my god, this is RNG based. Okay, so let's sell it right now and let's see how much money we have. So 23,000, we're missing about 4k, which we should have in a couple of rounds. But I feel like these guys are going to be able to take care of the next few rounds and there are no more love balloons. So we should be fine in general, I think. Okay, round 54, there's the money for the carrier flagship. And do I keep this thing on last? If we have it on last, does the attack speed carry over to the small planes? So if we have them on last, their targeting is going to change. But do they get the extra attack speed? I would assume so, but is it a good idea to keep it on last? I don't think so. I think I'm going to switch back to first in a second. But now that we have the carrier flagship, we need to start thinking about the late game. And so first off, this carrier flagship tower is kind of a mediocre tower for the late game anyways. I mean, it does well, I guess, versus Moab class because it launches these rockets and it does some damage, but it's not particularly good versus them. And also, I guess it has these homing projectiles that do nice damage and they can kind of follow along the ceramics, but they're not particularly good versus ceramics, especially not super ceramics either. So we're going to need to buy 2 more towers. And given that first off these platforms can only house small and medium-sized footprint towers, that means that we cannot place like 1/4 of the towers anyways. And second, even if we place something like, let's say, an archmage, the fact that these platforms are kind of far from the track means that they're not going to be getting a lot of DPS out anyways. So I was thinking of focusing more on these global range towers. I was thinking of buying something like a MAD to kind of fill up this gap versus Moab class balloons, and I also wanted to buy a Spirit of the Forest. So I bought a Rocket Storm and we're gonna have money to buy the MAD, but the problem is that these ceramics are becoming a little bit stronger each round and I'm not exactly comfortable with them making it that far. So instead of buying the MAD, I think I'm actually gonna go for the Spirit of the Forest first, just because it's gonna help do a little bit of damage, I guess, versus these Moab class balloons, but it's gonna take care of the ceramics. So let's get the Spirit of the Forest, let's just take care of all of these ceramic balloons. It's slowly going to start spreading these vines, and it's a long track, which means that this is actually not that bad of a tower. Okay, so round 89, this round has 45 BFBs, which come out to 45 Moais, but as you guys saw there, the ceramics are just disappearing onto these vines. And let's see how we do versus DATs. This is, I think, one of the more important parts. And yeah, so you can see 2 things. Number 1, you can see the lack of DDT damage because they took all the way, they made it all the way to the right side. But number 2, as long as the track is just long enough, the Spirit of the Forest is still going to be able to do damage. Okay, so let me unlock this darling. We might need to use the ability, but let's see what happens. So these DDTs are making it a little bit further than before. Let me just use the ability just in case. Yeah, look at this thing go. I mean, this Spirit of the Forest, let me just buy the mat. And this Spirit of the Forest tower, I mean, as long as the map is just long enough, it's gonna do the damage necessary, right? And these rounds are just going so fast at this point. I mean, this is round 97. And there it goes. That was 245 ZMGs, by the way. Let's watch round 98. I'm not gonna use any abilities. Let's just watch what happens. Yeah, it's super easy. These 2, I mean the Mat and the Spirit of the Forest. Is this a 2-tower chimps combo, by the way? It might as well be, right? And around 100. Let's use the ability on the bat and let's just end this thing with a bang, I guess. So it is possible. That's very important to know. This thing is possible. It is possible to beat 100 rounds by using only the carrier flagship. That's gonna be safe for a future video, but for now, I'm just glad that we confirmed that this thing is indeed doable. Can we beat chimps mode using the base Super Monkey. And I know that I'm clicking on the NG, but we kind of had to start with the NG and then into Geraldo because the Super Monkey is super expensive. It's 2.7k on hard mode, and we're playing this on chimps mode. Now, I know that I said base Super Monkey, and let me explain what that means, because the word base is going to do a lot of heavy lifting on this one. So when you say that something is a base tower, according to the BTD6 index, and I think this is like generally as it goes in the community, that means that the tower is allowed to be upgraded up to the tier 2. So for example, something like a 202 Super Monkey would still constitute as a base tower, though we kind of know that if we buy the top pad, the plasma, and stuff like that, like that's gonna be chimps mode by itself if you super buff it, right? So I thought, let me do something interesting. Let me actually switch things up, and well, first off, let me see if we even have this round. I mean, do I have to? Oh my god, I probably should have went for this. Is this gonna defend? No, it's not. Okay, I'm gonna have to intervene with these spikes, and then maybe one more. Oh yes, one more, definitely. Yeah, there we go. And as I was saying, I want to do the 0-2-2 because this thing is going to be throwing dart monkeys, and then because it has a sharp projectile, we can use Geraldo to buff it. And I think this is going to be a fun challenge to try this thing out, but we have to buy this thing a little bit earlier because we are going to need the damage. These small towers are not going to hold on by themselves a very long time, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to do 2 megapops with this thing, just because I feel like that might be, it might be a little bit annoying, honestly. Like, I know that it's possible, but it just might be a little annoying. Let me just drop the glue, by the way. And let's see if this is going to be enough. We do have the spikes at the back. Are the spikes going to be enough? Yeah, so we're going to have one left over. And yeah, there we go. So we have the money for the super. Let me place it. I was thinking of having it somewhere over here at the bottom. And then when we give it attack range, it is going to be able to reach, I guess, the other parts of the track. So let me buy the super now. And I really hope that we're going to make enough money for some lead popping power now. I think we are, though. Maybe we get the foam. Are we gonna have enough money for foam? Nope. That's a nope. So I think we just do the alchemist. So let me have the alchemist over here. I'm gonna have it on strong, and hopefully it's gonna be able to beat these guys. I mean, that is, it missed 2 of them, but it's gonna get them on the way back, so it's fine. It's totally fine. And there we go. We bought the super. And what are we doing? I feel like we might want to get the ultra vision now into the knockback, and then it's just gonna be the 0-2-2. And you know what? Maybe I should probably do this. I should probably keep giving it the sharpening stone, and I think we want to have it just buff throughout the entire game. Look at that. It's only getting 1 pierce from this, but you can see these darts flying out. And then if we get the range, it's going to get extra pierce as well. But let me actually do this first, so we can pop lead balloons with it. And it's going to give a little bit of extra damage to ceramics and Moabs, which is nice with around 40 Moab incoming. But I think I actually want to get a little bit of the range first, so I'm going to do a 0... it actually depends on how much money we get. So I think, you know what, let me get the epic range. So this is by the way the guy that's going to be doing the entire thing. So this is just a 0-2-2. I'm not going to be upgrading it any further. And let's see if we're going to have enough money. I want to get the berserker boon, but ideally 3-2-0, and we're not going to have the money for that thing. But this should be fine, right? I mean, yeah, it beats the Moab by itself. Okay, so round 46, this thing is not even budging. I mean, let me just upgrade it. Let me just give it this. Let me just do a... I think it's going to be a 2-0-0 village for now, but eventually it's going to need to become the MIB, and I also wanted to get maybe the call to arms. Like, if we can get away with 1 call to arms, like let's say we buy an overclock into the ultra boost, and then we can buy call to arms, that's going to be amazing. But then ideally, I also want to have a lot of these other support towers, which are usually key, as you guys know, in these runs. So we're going to have a relentless glue for sure. I want to get a something like a 2-4-0, but ideally an absolute 0 ice. Oh, and something else that I forgot. The jar of pickles is actually going to be very good for this thing. Well, at least up to a certain point, because here's how it works. And I think that these are the new numbers. So let me tell you the old numbers first. I think it was, if your tower has 4 damage or less, then it is a net benefit to have it. Well, actually, it used to be like, if your tower has 4 damage, then it doesn't do any harm, essentially, if you give it the jar of pickles, because it gives +1 damage, but it also takes away attack speed, right? So you have to be careful. But I think that they changed it, and I think that nowadays it's 3 damage when it balances out, when it's like at a 0 net benefit. If we get to 3 damage onto this thing, onto the super, then that means that the jar of pickles is not going to be useful. And here's the thing, if you get the sharpening stone at level 15, that's +1 damage. The alchemist is +1 damage, but also the alchemist gives extra damage to mobs and ceramics. So that is going to be +3 damage. Let's chill for now though. Let me get the overclock, and this thing is probably going to be getting used for the next few rounds. So first off, are we even dealing with these? Oh no, we're not dealing with the camel. I'm actually gonna, no, I should probably do this. I wanted to buff the alchemist, but we don't have camel detection on this thing on the village. So, oh, you know what? I should probably do this. Let me just slow these guys down and make sure they pop. Is that gonna be... Oh my god, please give him the buff. I don't want to do this. Yeah, there we go. So we could have done the Jerry's fire thingy, but that wasn't necessary. So it looks like, yeah, this thing is going to completely demolish the BFB. Oh my god. Okay, so we're gonna enter round 63 with me clicking the overclock of 62. So if we don't beat these guys, well, we're gonna have a problem. And actually, I should have the foam targeting like here, I think, so it pops the lead balloons. But this is not looking. Oh my god, this is not looking good actually. Is it beating them? It's barely beating them. Okay, so is the next wave comes and it's not focusing it, I should micro this. I should have him on strong. Let me use this thing to kind of slow these guys down, and let me move him back to... No, we have to use the pickles. Let me pickle this thing as soon as possible. Let me use the glue when the next wave appears. Yeah, this is getting a little messy, and I think that we're gonna be fine. And we have the overclock up now, and oh my god, look at that. So overclock plus jar of pickles, this thing is actually goes into a next level. So that should be a very interesting debate for you guys in the comments actually. Which one is better? I was kind of thinking about this in these past few rounds, and even though I want to buy the Ultra Boost, is this better than the Perma Brew? I don't know. I mean, it's 10 times attack speed plus, you know, a little bit of, it's like a permanent overclock plus another one when you use the ability, but at the same time, this is already a fast attacking tower, so if you give it something like the Perma Brew, which is going to give it extra damage, what's going to be more beneficial? I don't know, and actually I'm not even claiming to know, so I'm not buying the Ultra Boost because it's better. I just am buying it because I want to buy it. But if you guys kind of have an idea of which one is better, then let me know, and yeah, maybe we can talk about it. Maybe we can do some testing after this one actually. About halfway there, let me move the foam because this round has a little bit of lead balloons at the start. So let me do it like this. Let me overclock this guy as soon as possible. This thing is gonna last for some reason. I mean, it not that it matters, but I'm just gonna switch it to first. And the foam is actually not popping these lead balloons, which are blocking the dart projectiles. I don't think that's gonna matter actually. We have to see what we do on this one because there's a lot of BFBs beneath this thing. So hopefully this works. I mean, I can do the jar of pickle. I probably... Oh no, it's actually pickle. It's got one more round remaining. Okay, so how can I help this thing? Is it actually... Oh my god, need the overclock. I mean, it's already overclocked, but... Oh yeah, I barely beat them, so this next one is going to be even closer than that, isn't it? Okay, let me overclock. What else can we give it? Does it have the sharpening stone? No, it doesn't. Let me give it the sharpening stone. What's Geraldo's level? He's 13. So it's 15, the level at which... No, we're going to have to blast, I think. I'm going to be really patient with this thing, and actually, no, we don't have to blast. We're going to have to blast on this one, I think. Actually, I'm pretty sure. We might even create a regrow farm on this thing, so let me do it like this, and let me, you know what, let me upgrade to grow blocker. Let's see if this is going to be enough. I feel like, no, I want to give this round another shot. I'm going to give this round another shot. I think we can actually do this with the super. Okay, so here's the plan for this one. I'm going to have the cleansing foam here. I'm going to get the grow blocker, and I'm going to drop, let's say, is one glue going to be enough? I think one glue is going to be enough. So let's drop one glue. Let me give it the jar of pickles, and is that everything? We've got the sharpening stone. I think that's about it. I think that we gave it everything that we can give it. So is the overclock? Yeah, it is. Okay, I'm just gonna hit start and hope for the best. And if this doesn't beat it, then I'm gonna have a maelstrom in my hand, and yeah, that's probably gonna be it. I feel like this is gonna do a lot better than last time, isn't it? I mean, the foam isn't exactly. You know what? I don't want to say it, but I feel like it might not be the damage. I feel like it might be the fact that they're regrowing, although I might be wrong about that. Oh my god, it's laggy. We created a regrow farm. Yeah, let's just not worry about it. Let me just use Geraldo's trap and clean this round out. I mean, it's fine. We're not going for the 2 mega pops anyways, and because of this placement of the DNG, because we kind of needed it to defend the early rounds, we weren't getting the 2 mega pops anyways, I don't think. So the DNG is at like 22,000, and Geraldo is at like... How many pops is Geraldo? It's like 12,000. Yeah, the 2 mega pops wasn't happening. Let's see if we can beat 78. These guys are at least not regrow. So if we beat this thing, we're gonna kind of know that it wasn't the regrow. That was the... if we beat them, we're gonna know it was the regrow, actually. There was a problem. So let me just... I'm not even gonna use the glue on this one. Let me just see how it does. I think that's gonna be it. I'm just not even gonna click anything, and it actually defeated it. So that probably means that 76, the problem was the fact that they were regrowing, and that's about it. I mean, it can deal with huge waves of ceramics, it looks like. Let me overclock it, and the next one is going to be even easier because the Ultra Vision now gives bonus damage to camo balloons. I think it's +1, but don't take my word for it. I actually think it's +1. It might be +2, but I think it's +1. And let me... Am I even placing a glue? There's a lot of mods beneath that thing. Am I placing a glue? I think I am. Let me just drop one glue to be safe. And that should be... Oh my... Oh, that's it. Good job. Okay, so now we have the increased or the ramped up sharpening stone. So now this thing +1 damage. Very important for this tower. It's a super fast attacking tower. And we are getting closer to the Ultra Boost. But if we survive this round, then we have it. So we need to just take care of this round, which is a huge round. You know what? I should probably glue. Can the glue hit mob class loose now? Is it upgraded? No, it's not. Oh my god, I just dropped the glue. It's not doing anything. Oh no, did I give it the draw pickles? I did. So this just needs to survive. I'm overclocking it. It's gonna have it. Yeah, it has it. There we go, 78,000. So let's get the Ultra Boost, 3 uses per round. But that's very important that we got it a little bit early, because now we can focus our attention on these other utility towers. And we also need to get this thing to the MIB as soon as possible for the DDTs. 4 stacks onto the Ultra Boost and 4 0MGs incoming. That's gonna be 5 stacks. The Jar of Pickles ran out. I think that we are still good to use it because it has 2 damage. Now, actually, this is the time at which it becomes questionable. But also, you know what? The thing with the Jar of Pickles is that now it gives extra damage to fortified balloons. So if the balloons are fortified, I think it actually still might make sense to use the Jar of Pickles. I don't know. I mean, you know what? It's like you have the Alchemist buff, but this thing wears out so fast because this thing is attacking. It's attacking super fast. And I just feel like the Jar of Pickles is actually like a net positive to have, so I'm gonna keep using it. And that is round 88, and I'm kind of saving a little bit money because I wanted to see, I wanted to see if we're gonna make enough money to buy the MIB, but also I want to get the glue gunner. So this thing now, I think the better crossfire is actually the 042 nowadays, because you don't need the top crosspat in order for it to hit mob class balloons, but the trade-off is that now it doesn't hit a lot of layers. So it only hits 3 layers now, and if you wanted to hit all of the layers of a balloon, you're gonna have to go for the top crosspat, but I feel like the bottom one is still there. So we got this thing in time. We're actually 1.8k over it, so this is turning out very well with the mats and all. It's kind of accidental mats, but you know what, it's turning out well. So I think the next thing that we want to be getting is going to be the relentless glue with the mob glue as well. So this is going to be slowing guys down, and this is just like utility tower, and that's basically everything that we have left over, because there's not that much damage that we can give this thing. I was also thinking of getting the Caldwell armors, but I think that's going to come after buying these small support towers. So oh my god, these guys are actually leaking. What am I missing with my buffs? Wait a minute, I'm not missing any of my buffs and we're leaking? Wait, actually we are missing one of the buffs. What am I talking about? I'm missing the sharpening stone, it looks like. Does the sharpening stone make that much of a difference? So let's use it. This time it's 10 times ultra boosted. Let's see if the sharpening stone is gonna make that much of a difference, because I mean, it's +1 damage, but I feel like +1 damage for this thing is, oh my god, it's actually making all the difference in the world. Yeah, that was the buff that we were missing. I kind of overlooked that one, but it's fine. We got this thing. Okay, so now we can finally buy the, oh my god, we don't got this thing. Oh my god, we got this thing. What is happening? Hello? Okay, so more DDTs. I'm gonna get the relentless glue now, and I think we're done with this tower actually. And let's see how we do versus these guys. So we are, oh my god, the stun is doing so much work actually. Yeah, I think keeping this thing off first is actually the better idea. Okay, I wanted the cold arms, but the cold arms is probably not happening, so I want to buy these damage amplifying towers. So first off, let's go for and if we can afford it, that is, I think I want to go for a 042 glue now, and then probably like a 420 ice, and maybe, you know what, I wanted to get a 240 ice as well. I wanted to get some sabos. Oh my god, this setup is so expensive actually. Let me get the glue hose, and we can, you know what we could do? We could probably be using Geraldo's idols, because these guys do a little bit of a stun, I think. Yeah, it's barely holding on. I'm gonna place a trap. Yeah, it didn't trigger. That was super close though. But these guys, they need to pop very slowly, and I don't think that they're gonna pop very slowly. Oh my god, this thing is super buffed and it's still struggling. And look at that, the ultra boost is grayed out, which means that we can no longer use it. Okay, so we seem to hit a dead end at this round actually. Nothing seems to be working. I mean, I tried buffing it with basically everything that we have. I even tried using these blade traps, slowed everything down. I tried using these creepy idols. I tried giving I tried basically AMD stacking, which is, you know, actually it's probably a good idea to have like in the long term for these next few rounds that are incoming, but it's just, it doesn't seem like it's enough. So you know what, I'm just gonna give it my best shot to try and get through these rounds. I'm gonna use Geraldo's. I used the genie for this one. We have 2 genies up and running. This one is gonna last for 94 and 95, and then we have one more at our disposal, but I guess the 022 is probably not as strong as we thought. Yeah, this genie is helping a little bit, and by a little bit I mean, let me actually check the pops. What's doing more pops? I feel like, yeah, they're kind of neck and neck, I would say, of how many pops each tower is doing. But yeah, this is probably going to be I don't know, 96 is probably going to be one of those rounds where this thing is just not going to be able to handle everything. So we can do a couple of things. We can do an ice tower. We can do like a Sabo. I feel like maybe the Sabo is going to be the best choice. So let me actually get ready for the Sabo. Although, you know, I see that, and the ice is going to hold ceramics in place. So I don't know. Let me just get the Sabo. I feel like the Sabo is going to be useful on more rounds in general. But these balloons, yeah, they're making it way too far. And we do have all the buffs now, right? I see the sharpening stone, I see the jar of pickles. Yeah, we do have it's overclocked, it's ultra boosted. It just, is it going to be able to hold these balloons? That's basically it. So let me use the Sabo now. Just came off cooldown. Hopefully we can get one more use out of it in this round. And this is probably going to be the last overclock. I think that's number 3 that I used. Oh my god, that's a lot of balloons. Okay, so Sabo, are we actually kind of holding on? I don't think we are. I really hope that we are, but we're not. Yeah, that's a lot of balloons. I mean, this is looking a little bit better than last time. I placed the creepy idols here. So I have one over here, I have one over here, and then I bought a 420 ice. And this is actually going a little bit better than my last attempt. So let me use the ultra boost. I think I have one more ultra boost attempt left after this. So I have to be very careful, but hopefully they don't pop together. Please just pop slowly and we should be fine. I think that this is, in comparison to, let's say, getting something like a 042 glue, I think at least this is a little bit more consistent, I feel like, in amplifying the damage, though it's a little bit less damage amplification. But this is looking, for some reason, this is looking infinitely better than last time, and it's not even close, and I don't know what happened. I mean, maybe it's just the placement of these idols, I'm gonna be honest. Okay, so I know it's round 97, but we have to start planning out round 98, and here is what I'm gonna do. Geraldo is actually going to need 2 more rounds, I think, to reach level 20. I hope I'm wrong. I hope he reaches into the next level, because that's really important. So when he reaches level 20, his entire shop restocks. We're gonna need to use these guys, the hot sauces. And I would really like to have these creepy allies because they do actually kind of offer some stopping power. So let me use as many of these things as possible. Actually, you know what we could do? We could actually use the genie. No, let me use it. We should use the genie now because it's going to restock in a second. So that's actually a good idea. And this is round 98, by the way. So let me buy a bloon. I don't have the money for a Sabo. I think we're going to get the money in a second. Yeah, there we go. So let's get the Sabo. And let's see. This is going to be the most difficult round out of all of them. And if we don't make it, we can... It's only 980. I'm going to buy this thing. I'm actually going to buy it. So let's restock everything. We're going to need all these items, guys. Let me use this thing like this. I mean, before it restocks, honestly, just do as much damage as possible because we're going to get them back. Let me place this thing. Let's give it the Jerry's Fire to this thing. I'm going to use the Sabo as well because this is 98. That's Ultra Boost. Oh my god, this is such a mess. I can't even pay attention to what's happening, but let me use the glues actually on this round. I'm just using everything. It's gonna fully restock. We don't even care. And that is actually going. That's actually going amazing. You know what? We're actually gonna do it with the help of Geraldo. Geraldo's gonna get a lot of pops from this thing, but there we go, level 20. So everything is fully restocked. Let me buy a bunch of these guys. Let me just place them. Let me buy the creepy idols, which are gonna stun these DDTs, right? I mean, they don't have camo. Okay, let me give Geraldo camo though, so that the creepy idols can stun them. Let's do the ultra boost thingy, and bang, I think we dealt. Yep, we absolutely dealt with them. Okay, so the biggest challenge is the next round, but I feel like just because we have a lot of Jerry's Fires, this should probably not be. I don't think this is gonna be an issue. I'm gonna be honest. I think that the Jerry's Fires are gonna do a lot of damage. Let me check Geraldo's damage. Actually, I say that, but this doesn't get counted as Geraldo. It actually gets counted as these other towers. So I should probably be checking this thing. I mean, it's not that much. It's like, how much damage does this thing do? 1 damage every point. 1 damage every 0.1 second, that's probably not too bad. But this actually seems to be lacking damage. So can we do it without the genie? I feel like we should be able to. I'm going to use all of these maelstroms. How is it looking? Is it looking good? I don't think so. When is it going to pop? Oh, it popped. It actually popped. Okay. So we still might have this thing. I have the Sabo up and running. And let me do this. Let me actually place the first glue, which is going to affect these guys. Hopefully it slows them down. Do we have all of the buffs? I think we do. Yeah, we're fully buffed on this thing. Let me place the second glue now. And the third one here at the back. And let me... Oh, no more Blade Maelstroms. I used all of them. Okay, so this is going to be the last push. Let me do the Ultra Boost thingy. And a lot of BFBs. Let's use the Sabo. A lot of Moabs incoming. Please hold. Please, I think it's gonna hold. Yeah, there we go. Finally, we did it. That is actually that was actually kind of a challenge which it hit its wall on round 94. I feel like this now, or even though it was fully buffed, like 94 was the round it actually started needing a lot of external help to get through the rounds, but it did the majority of the job. I mean, listen, this is like a 0-2-2 super monkey, which is, you know, it's not even that strong, but with external buffs you can do miracles with these things. And you know what I'm regretting after I'm done with this run? I'm a little bit regretting the fact that I went for the Ultra Boost. Maybe I should have given the Perma Brew a shot. I think that might have been a little bit better, but you know what? We did it anyways, and I'm happy for that. So that's it for this one. Hope you guys enjoyed the video as well, and I will see you all in the next one. Can we beat chimps mode using Geraldo's pet bunny? Now that is the question that we're going to try and answer today. And first off, let me explain to you guys how this whole thing works and why we're attempting this. So the way that this pet rabbit works is, well, let me just sell Geraldo and let me show you guys what's happening. So a Geraldo level 10, you get one of these guys in stock, and so when you place it, it doesn't exactly do anything. I mean, let me just send in a couple of, I guess it's a couple of red balloons, and you can see that Geraldo is the only one attacking, and this bunny is not doing anything. So the idea behind this thing is that you want to, let me actually level up Geraldo a little bit, and let me get all these other ones. And the idea behind this is that you're supposed to buy throughout the rounds, and as they restock, you're supposed to buy 4 of them, and then when you buy 4 of them, they combine into one, what is known as, I guess, the bunny paragon, or maybe some, I think the official name is the killer paragon. But what this thing can do now is it can attack by itself, and it does this. So it can jump throughout the map, and it does a lot of damage by itself. And it also has a very cool property. It works like the avatar of Rat Druid, if you guys know how that one works. And that is, the more balloons there are on screen, the more damage it does. So that makes it have a little bit more scaling power for the late game. And this is going to be our main DPS, which we're going to try and use to beat chimps mode. Okay, so let's try and do this. I bought this boomerang, and I'm only going to be buying towers that we're going to be using later on as support towers, because the main DPS is supposed to be the bunny, and it has a huge range. It can cover almost the entirety of the map, but we need to get to Geraldo. That's the most important thing, so that we can unlock him as soon as possible, and then we can get the levels going as soon as possible. Now let's place Geraldo over here. We have the money now, because you can only place the rabbits around him, and that's going to be kind of the initial radius of which they're going to roam around, and then eventually this is going to be kind of the center of the map which they're going to be covering. But I think that they can kind of roam towards the left because they have a huge radius by themselves. So only buying and only focusing on these support-ish type of towers. Let me just actually move this guy on first. Are we gonna snipe that thing? Yeah, there we go. Good job. And towers like the boomer, maybe we're gonna get a bomb. We're gonna get the glue for sure. You know what? Maybe actually I should be going for a glue like right now. So let me just buy this thing, get the bigger gloves. This is gonna be eventually a relentless glue. Might even get more of these guys. And it's just gonna be these support towers that are going to make the bunny's life a lot easier when we get the bunny paragon, and when essentially its time comes to defend, basically. Okay, so let's get the Kylie boomerang. This thing is actually kind of nice in defending. And let me get ready for one of these. Yes, that barely leaked. Yes. Oh my god, we got it. That's very good. That's very good. I mean, Geraldo has an answer to everything, guys. This is just the perfect hero. This is my favorite hero, by the way. I mean, honestly, it's round 32, and we only have a 0-1-0 glue, and this is 0-2-3 boomerang. And these guys are defending just fine. And let me just talk to you guys a little bit more about the bunny paragon, because that might be an unconventional tower that you guys might not have seen. So that thing doesn't care about obstacles. That's one of the advantages that it has. So for example, even if we don't remove this obstacle, it's still going to be able to attack through it. And then another thing is that it cannot be buffed, as far as I know, by any other stuff. So giving it an alchemist, it's not going to look like an overclock. That's not going to do anything for it. And it's just gonna be it. So the way that we're gonna help the bunny basically win this, or at least try and win this, is by buying all the other support towers. So the support towers are gonna do a little bit of damage by themselves. So we're talking about, you know, maybe the relentless glue, but we're talking about towers like the more oppressor. Maybe I wanted to get this top at bloon impact, which actually got a huge buff. It was a while back, but I haven't found use for it, because generally I just go for the glues and the boomerangs. But I think that we can find good use in it now, in the fact that it's just gonna stall balloons and it's gonna keep pushing them back. And this bunny paragon, I think that it can maybe not one shot, but it can 2-shot super ceramics. I'm not even kidding about that one. It's a really good tower. Okay, so let's see what we can do versus these guys that are coming out. So this is gonna be huge waves of these pink balloons. And does the Kylie, it seems to have enough pierce. Let me just give it camo detection for these green balloons. And maybe we want to drop, yeah, you know what, I'm just gonna drop this glue over here, and this should be fine for round 36. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so we're defending, but we need to start getting real with ourselves and the things that we're doing. So let me get this thing. This is going to be a 3-2-0 really big bombs, and then I'm going to keep it like this. This does 3 damage a shot. I think that's going to be fine. I want to put a little bit of money into this thing, into the Moab press, because we're going to have the Moab incoming. And I think I'm just going to save the money. So Geraldo's level 7. He's going to be level 8 in a second, and we might even buy the remainder of the level just because I kind of want to get the Bunny Paragon as soon as possible. But let's see how I do versus the Moab, and maybe we are going to need to buy something. I'm actually kind of thinking maybe I'm probably going to have to buy this thing if we don't deal with the ceramics, but let's see how everything goes. So let me get ready with the glue, I think. Oh my god, this thing isn't even popping. Okay, so let me put the glue over here, I think. Is that going to be fine? Everything is getting glued. Oh no, this guy is way too strong actually. This is a really unconventional defense, isn't it? I mean, I'm just looking at my towers. 3-2-0 bomb shooter and a 0-2-4 boomerang. If I get this thing to 4-2-0 and I give these guys just like the most basic buffs like an alchemist in a village, you guys know that these guys are gonna defend like probably well into the 50s, maybe even going to the 60s, right? I mean, they're so good. Let's actually give these guys the things that they need. So this is going to be camo detection plus a little bit of primary buffs, and I feel like that is what we're going to stop for now. Round 49, these balloons are kind of making it a little bit further, so let me buy this thing as a 0-2-2, and you know what, maybe even, you know what, maybe I'm just going to go for the Moab glue right now, I think, because why not? I mean, this is a very nice combo, the 0-2-3 and the 0-2-4, in this case, the one that we have, boomerang. I'm keeping it on first, but this is going to go on strong later on when the Moab class balloons appear. And let me just check Geraldo's level. So level 9 and 7k currently needed for the next level. So when is this going to be, like round 53, I think, something like that? Okay, here we go, round 54, and we can buy the first one. Well, one of them on screen doesn't do anything. Maybe they should kind of make it have an aura, or maybe attack just a little bit, just to kind of let people know that, hey, this thing is going to do anything. But for now, we're just going to be chilling. So every 3 rounds, oh, never mind, we sniped it. So every 3 rounds we get a restock on this thing, so we have to be buying this as soon as possible because they have a duration of 10 rounds. So if you don't buy them as soon as possible, you might miss the window on it. There we go, the first restock. So we have 2 on the field currently, and I'm probably gonna keep the money actually, although we do have a lot of money for now. So let me, you know what, let me just buy the balloon impact now, and let's just see these balloons. Oh my god, look at them just getting kept in place. Oh my god, these guys, this is such a cool strategy. We should probably do something like this, maybe like primary only chimps or something like that. But yeah, here we go, we have 1 more bunny restock. So this is unfortunately not probably gonna be happening as of round 63. But if we do manage to get it before round 63, then that means that the bunny is just gonna one-shot all those ceramic waves. And I'm not even kidding about that one. It actually does a lot of damage. So are we gonna deal with this thing? I feel like, yeah, as soon as we blow it to these small balloons, then just the balloon impact is gonna take care of everything. So yeah, there we go. What can we do to kind of help these guys out? Because I think there's 1 more round remaining. So or do we just keep them like this? I mean, you know what? I don't want to be placing Drace Fire on anyone, so maybe we just do a glue or something like that. Is that going to be enough? Let's just see how these guys do actually by themselves. So this is just a 0-2-4 boomerang. I mean, the thing is, it triggers the effect a little bit more often, but it like doesn't push that further back. It doesn't have a lot of pierce. And hold up. No, this is not looking good actually. So I should probably, I mean, I'm saying that, and these guys are actually holding. You know what? I'm just gonna keep a Blade Maelstrom in my hand, and then we're gonna see if this thing pops. I mean, this is looking kind of close. If this thing pops, yeah, there we go. I think that's GG. Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. And we do get the bunny for round 63. And here we go, let's combine them, and there we go. That is our main DPS, which is gonna keep flying around the map, and it's just gonna keep wiping balloons by itself. So how do you buff this thing? Well, this thing is gonna keep buffing itself. So the more balloons there are, the more RBE, which stands for red balloon equivalent, which basically means the more balloons there are on the screen, the more damage it's gonna keep doing. And look at it go, look at the bunny paragon just clean house. That is so good. Okay, so this is a very sad sight. Look at this. The glue is just outside the range of the village. I thought this was gonna be in when I was gonna buy the bigger radius, but it seems like it's not. So I'm going to have to do this, and this is hopefully gonna expand this thing's range. And now the glue should be in range. There we go. I kind of wanted to buy the relentless glue, that's why I'm doing this. Let me switch to first. I think that's a better one for the Relentless Glue, and then maybe we're gonna need to buy like a glue here. Let's not do the same mistake twice. So this Bunny Paragon is gonna need a lot of help, but I'm going to buy Relentless Glue at the back as well. That's a BFB and a bunch of fortified ceramics, by the way, and this thing is one-shotting everything. It's one-shotting fortified ceramics. Yeah, it's really that good, honestly, and there wasn't a lot of RB on that round, so that's his base damage. Like, it has enough base damage to one-shot ceramics by itself. So 45 Moabs, let's see how we do on this one with a bunch of BFBs behind them. I mean, it's going to start increasing his damage by a little bit, which should mean that, yeah, there we go. With the Relentless Glue pop, actually, all of these ceramics seem to be getting stunned, like over here even. Yeah, it's destroying these rounds completely. It's going to be interesting to see how it does in 76, but this round is regarded as one of the more difficult ones, but... Oh yeah, this thing doesn't even care. Something that I noticed is that it didn't kind of wipe 76 in one go. It kind of took a couple of shots or a couple of hits before it popped, so that tells me that this thing doesn't have a lot of pierce, it looks like, but it does have a lot of damage, and the damage keeps increasing. So the only thing that this thing is gonna need is basically for us to buy time, and that's it. So if we just stall and hold the balloons for long enough, it's just gonna hopefully clean everything out. Let me just check the damage that it does onto the ZOMG. So it is 540, 587. That's like 47 damage that it does onto the ZOMG. So that is with the RB bonus. It doesn't sound like a lot, I'm gonna be honest, but you know what? It's just gonna keep going. It's only one balloon, so let's see how it does versus these other free play rounds. Yeah, this round should not be and as I'm saying that, it's the same issue, guys. It's a lot of balloons coming on screen, and then this thing is just kind of starts crumbling because it doesn't have a lot of pierce. But these super ceramics, I mean, is it one-shotting them? Let me just watch for a second. I don't think it's one-shotting them. I think it's two-shotting super ceramics, actually. Let me just watch when the balloons come kind of closer to our other towers. So, yeah, it's doing a couple of shots, it's bouncing around, but I think it's two-shotting them, actually. So as soon as these, let's just watch on these Moabs, so that is one. Yeah, I think that's two-shotting them. And this should be the case with these fortified super ceramics as well. Like, maybe three-shotting them at max. Okay, so fortified ceramics are going to come out of these guys. Let's see how it's going to do. I mean, I kind of saw, but I think it was two-shotting them. So let's see as soon as these guys pop. There we go. I think, yeah, that looks like a two-shot, but it looks like a pierce cap getting overloaded, and I kind of want to give it help from some other towers. So for example, I really wanted to buy this thing. I wanted to buy a 250 because this thing slows balloons down a little bit, and it's going to hold ceramics in place, which is, and not just ceramics, it's the small balloons as well, which the rabbit seems to be struggling. So as soon as these guys pop, as you guys saw, yeah, it just needs these balloons to get held in place. And we kind of checked how much damage it did versus round 80, but let's see how much damage it does versus 2 ZOMG. So that's 644 to 6, what was that, 644 to 697, I think it was. I mean, that's about 50 years damage. That's a little bit more than it did on 80, but you can see the damage bonus starting to slowly ramp up, especially because this is around 85. So I think the max bonus is gonna start happening around like 94, 96, 98 for sure. And then round 100, it's actually not going to have that much bonus damage. You know what? We now have a lot of stall for these guys. So a bunch of 45 blues incoming. This is probably going to be the biggest test for this thing. When the 45 ceramics and when the 45 ceramics start breaking, actually. But as I say that, I'm not seeing anything yet past this kind of the relentless glue region, it looks like. So, you know what? Let's check the damage again. This is round 87, so it's 400, 454, and we have 4 ZOMGs. So, let's see how much damage it does now when these guys enter its range. Oh my god, I kind of missed it. Okay, so let's just kind of be slow about this, and it's... No, that's way too much. I don't even know. It's like 200 something damage, maybe like 250, 270 damage that it does now. But I think it's just hitting 4 ZOMGs now, so that kind of explains it. But let's say it's 270, so that would be like, how much? That's like easily over 60 damage per closer to 70 damage per balloon. So that's a nice damage. A bunch of 45 Moabs. This is before the DDTs come, and I'm kind of concerned about DDTs, I'm going to be honest with you guys. So if this thing is not, and I don't think it's going to be popping DDTs like kind of fast, so we're going to need to find a solution for DDTs, and that's probably going to be either using some I don't know, like absolute 0 plus no storm abilities, or just straight up go for the balloon crush, but we don't have the money for it yet. So maybe I'm gonna try and let's see if we can beat this round. Yeah, we can. I was kind of trying to say if we can beat this round without using the absolute 0, because we might need it on the next one with the DDTs, and it seems like we did. So let's see if we're gonna need the ability versus DDTs and how it generally does versus them. I feel like these guys are going to be a problem. Oh, they're absolutely going to be a problem. This is only around 90, so imagine something like 95. Yeah, these guys are just going to walk through, aren't they? Okay, now this is the perfect round to see how much damage it actually does versus 45 ceramic. So these guys, it's round 91. They're pretty ramped up with their HP, and it looks like it's two-shotting them. Yeah, it looks like it's two-shotting them. So that's a lot of damage, I'm going to be honest, but yeah, it's still the same problems that we had. It's going to be the DDTs is the main issue, and I'm especially worried about round 99. So unless you're buying the Bloon Crush, yeah, this thing is absolutely going to struggle. And I feel like if we buy the Bloon Crush, it's going to make things a little bit too easy. So I'm not going to do that. I'm actually going to let it struggle, and I'm going to try and kind of adjust with some other towers. Maybe like buying some Snowstorms versus Sabos is going to be the plan. Okay, so 92 seems to be walking in. That was a bunch of 0MGs, and these guys are going to pop it. They're going to kind of make it, they're going to go outside of the range of the Absolute Zero's aura. And we might need to use the ability, but again, similarly to round 90, I don't want to do it. So I hope that we clean house now. And I'm going to be buying a bunch of boomerangs actually, because I still, you know what, I'm kind of thinking of not buying the boomerangs because I want to have all the pops go into the rabbit. It has 680,000, it's almost at 700k pops. This other boomer is at 180, and then this thing is at 92. So the majority of the pops are still going with the rabbit. It's just that if I buy boomers, then they're going to clean house with all the mob class balloons. Okay, so let's see how we do now versus these DDTs. These ones, okay, so these ones are we're doing a lot better because there's a lot more RBE on the screen thanks to these BFBs at the back. So we do a lot more damage to them, but I don't think that's going to be the case on 95 because it's just going to be like DDTs and Moabs. So those guys generally don't have a lot of RP. Okay, so in comes 94. We are still two-shotting these ceramics, it looks like, and it looks like these BFBs, they're not even an issue. I mean, these, oh, I think I'm just going to use the ability to kind of slow everyone down and just pause for a second. But yeah, when we get to the 0MGs, it's the same problem that we've been having for a long time, it looks like. So I'm just gonna keep freezing these guys, and I need to buy some other towers. So 95 is next. I'm gonna buy 2 Sabos just because one Sabo, I'm not sure if it's gonna be enough, and we kind of want to have, if I want to have 100% Sabo uptime actually, I'm gonna need to buy 3 of these Sabos. So let's buy 3 Sabos now just to kind of guarantee 100% uptime. Let me buy a 240 another ice. This is gonna be to kind of hold DDTs in place, and then I was thinking of buying like at least 1 or 2 more boomers just so we can deal with these mob class balloons like the ZOMGs a little bit better. And let's see if the bunny is gonna be able to beat the DDTs on 95 by itself. So let me use the first Sabo and let's kind of chill a little bit. We do have the snowstorm ability, so it looks like, oh no, let me use the second Sabo. I think I'm gonna have to freeze. I'm gonna use the snowstorm first. I'm gonna keep the absolute zero, and it looks like it's getting kind of close. The Sabo is still active. We have 1 more because we bought 3, but it feels like we are going to deal with these guys. Let me use the last Sabo. This is getting kind of close, honestly, towards the end. So the DDTs have been dealt with, but these mobs have not been touched. Yeah, they've actually not been touched. So let me use the absolute zero, freeze everyone in place. We cut the snowstorm off cooldown, but yeah, we're just keeping them in place now. So these small mobs are not even an issue, it looks like. That's very good. I mean, this bunny, guys, you know what? It's actually looks to be a decent tower. Especially when you give it a lot of support, it seems to be winning by itself. Now, this is one of those rounds. So look at this. There's a million balloons in this round, and this thing is at max power currently. Well, I'm actually not sure how much max power is. I think it's plus 40 damage, and it gets plus 1 damage for every 2,250 RBE. So I feel like there's more than, what's that, like 90k RBE max? Yeah, I feel like there's more than 90k RBE on this round. So I think this is at max power actually, and this is gonna be at max power on round 98 as well. And it cleans out, as usual, it cleans out the small balloons by itself, but then these ZOMGs, they are a little bit of an issue. So let me use the Sabo actually for these guys. And let me use the snowstorm as well, kind of keep them all in place. And as soon as, oh, it ran out actually. So the first Sabo ran out. Let me use the second one. We're gonna reset all these cooldowns on 97. It's gonna be 2 very, very strong, very beefy ZOMGs. And then, am I using the other Sabo? I don't think I think we're fine. Yeah, it's actually gonna be fine. And it's round 98. And I think that what we're witnessing right now, and what is basically kind of the name of the game for BTD6, is that as long as you have enough stalls and you have enough utility, you have enough support towers, you can pretty much beat chimps mode in this game with almost anything. I mean, not that the bunny is kind of weak or anything like that, but this thing has like 1.2 million pops, and it's just not gonna stop. So let me just keep using the Sabo, keep using although this is around 98, and I might have, you know what? Let me just not jinx it. Let me just keep using these abilities off cooldown. We have, yeah, we should use 1 more Sabo. Actually, we have the absolute zero off cooldown as well. It's only 1 boomerang that's holding these guys, so imagine if we bought like more boomerangs. They're gonna pop the ZOMGs by themselves, but let's just wait and see if the Pierce is gonna get overloaded. So this thing is, you can't even see it attack, guys. It's attacking so fast that you can't even, it's just bouncing off of everywhere around the map, but it seems to be clearing everything out. So I'm gonna use one more Sabo and then I'm done for this round because I want to save one for 99 because those 45 DDs are absolutely gonna be an issue, I think, because there's not much RBE on the next round incoming, so the bonus damage is not gonna be that high, and we're gonna need to keep them in place for a very long time. So I'm actually, oh, you know what, we have 2 Sabos up, so let me use one more. And round 98, this is the round that made it the furthest, I feel like, out of all of these 90s, but we do take it down. And round 99, this is going to be the last round that the bunny is going to be able to beat by itself, because round 100, I don't think it has that much damage. So let me use the Sabo and let me freeze these guys with the snowstorm first. And oh, you know what, this thing is not popping them. Let me use another Sabo. I mean, freeze them in place with the absolute 0. It should pop them now, right? I can't manipulate the targeting on it, I don't think. So I think it just has a targeting of its own, and if it's first all the time, I mean, I just, oh my god, 45 DDTs. Need to stun again, and I need to stun again because there's one more DDT left. Please pop it, come on, don't do it like this. It's round 99. Yes, there we go, good job. So it's only the Moabs now, but I feel like we can hold the Moabs in place. We have a Sabo incoming if we need it, but no, it's not gonna be needed. Okay, there we go. Round 100 is coming in a second, and I don't think that this thing has enough damage by itself, but it's at 1.4 million pops. So can you do the 2 mega pops with this thing? I don't think so, honestly, but this is very close. This is probably not as close as it gets, but this is really close. But let me just see the damage that it does. It's about, what's that, like 50 damage per shot or something like that? So this is definitely not gonna pop the 0MG, but we can, well, you know what, let's call in the big guns for this last round. Let's buy the Carpet of Spikes, which is probably, I don't know, this thing is kind of becoming my favorite tower from this update, just because they gave it a lot of extra damage, and now it does like over double that damage to Moab class balloons. It's the cheapest and the best solution for these guys, and I like the Spike Storm and the Millipede as well. And there we go. This is the bunny with, let's just check the pops because I'm kind of curious. 010 Buccaneer, we have all of those, but let me check how many pops this thing ended the game in. So it's 1.4.5 million pops with the bunny rabbit. We didn't place any other DPS towers from Geraldo, so it's just the bunny doing 1.4 million, and it started doing its pops around 63. So you know what, I'll take it. I mean, that was an absolutely amazing run. These other guys that did do some decent amount of damage. The Boomer is at 327, the 420 balloon impact is at 176, although it's just mainly keeping these balloons in place. That's what they were basically doing, and then obviously the bad getting popped by the Spike Factory. But that's it. You can actually beat chimps mode by using the Killer Rabbit as the main DPS. So hope you guys enjoyed that video. That was a really fun thing. I don't think I've ever done this with the Killer Rabbit. It's such an unorthodox tower, but there it is. Thank you guys so much for watching the video, and I will see you all in the next one.